Happy holidays, everyone! The Mario Kart Deluxe Booster Course Pass is back for Wave 3, and like I said last time, it just keeps on getting better. So, what are we waiting for? Let's dive in. Maple Treeway is officially back and earlier than we expected. The last time we saw Maple Treeway was in 2011 on Mario Kart 7. The 3DS version removed the bridge and introduced a glider section, which also has been applied here. There is a lot more work put into detail here than there has been in some of the other remasters. The leaves are more saturated than the other versions, and background details such as half pipes and falling pine needles are something that dominate this track. It's also got a killer soundtrack. I think I might prefer it over the original. I've always loved Maple Treeway, and this remake did not disappoint. Can you ever have too much Rainbow Road? Well, okay. Yeah, maybe. But anyways, Rainbow Road on 3DS, also known as the best Rainbow Road, has made its way to the Switch after a long wait. There's really not much to say. Everything has been well integrated into the course. My one gripe is that Nintendo chose to forfeit anti-gravity again. I think it could have made the Mario Kart 8 version of this track a bit more unique. That being said, apart from that, it does everything right and is definitely one of the top tracks out of all the current waves so far. Boo Lake was not what I expected, honestly. When I reviewed the last GBA remaster for Wave 2, I was initially not a fan of how bland it was. Maybe it's because I compared it to Cheeseland, or maybe I just expected more. It did eventually grow on me quite a bit, but in comparison to others, you could say it lacked replay value. Boo Lake looks great straight out of the books. It has that creepy vibe that has gone unnoticed since Twisted Mansion. It's a lot crazier due to its lack of width, but at the same time remains true to the original GBA version. Anti-gravity is actually used in this track, surprisingly. Is it necessary? Not really, since it only applies to the underwater part, but I guess they wanted to make that portion a bit smoother in terms of the ride. Overall, it's a great track and I'm excited to play more of it. I think the Wave 2 City Tour tracks are still the clear winner, as I genuinely found Berlin Byways and London Loop kinda boring. Don't get me wrong, they aren't bad tracks, they just didn't feel like anything I hadn't seen before. Berlin Byways felt like a lot of road to me, with a bit of pizzazz here and there. It has a subway that you drive through, which kinda feels gimmicky since so many other tour tracks have already done that same style. I also personally didn't care for the techno vibe in the soundtrack, but everyone has a preference when it comes to how they want it to sound. London Loop is definitely a bit more unique. You can drive onto the London Bridge and look at a couple familiar relics in the background. It's a track you'll be able to appreciate a lot more if you are either from the city or associated with it in some way. While I much prefer the tour tracks from Wave 2, these are still a fun addition to play here and there with friends online. Rock Mountain deserved better. While this could have been another highlight of this wave, they instead bring back the Toad Circuit disaster. I guess this was one of the first ones made? Not sure. Regardless, Rock Mountain brings back the issues that we had hoped were behind us. A lot of the textures in the track look poor in comparison to others, and the grass is once again ridiculous. Something that could have easily been improved, but instead completely forgotten. Unfortunately, the soundtrack isn't anything special, so this just leaves us with more disappointment. Like Toad Circuit, there is still fun to be had, but it's not as pleasing as fans would have hoped. Peach Gardens. Wow. It's so good. You've already seen enough footage to know that it looks great, and it does. Peach Gardens offers plenty of madness. There's chain chomps when you least expect them, and the lack of paths during key moments lead to items galore. The soundtrack is immaculate and exciting, and I couldn't have asked for a better remake. Well, it's December, so let's end this off with something people want around the holidays. Merry Mountain, another port from Tour, dives into the winter festivities with its Christmas spirit-filled track. At the beginning of the track, it features an almost gingerbread neighborhood, filled with pipes, candy canes, some stars, and a Christmas tree. It also features an awesome train track subsection and offers you the chance for plenty of trick shots throughout the duration of the race. This new track is not only great for the holidays, but still can serve as a fun and unique course when the snow is gone or the holidays are at an end. It's the franchise's first Christmas track, and it's an absolute blast to play. While Wave 3 does struggle with questionable city tour tracks and a disappointing 3DS remaster, it succeeds at embracing nostalgia, but also finds ways to ameliorate what we didn't think needed improvement in the first place. Tracks that have been silent for a long time reappear looking great and sounding great, and that's why remastered courses are such a delight to experience. Let me know what your thoughts are on the content we've gotten so far, and until next time, cheers.